It's a competitive game, Belle. I can talk shit if I want to. Yes, I understand that. But what makes you want to? What is it in your life that's going on that makes you want to? It's fun? What makes it fun? Watch this. Talking shit is fun. It's only fun for you because you're constantly shit-talking yourself and demeaning yourself. You just got psychoanalyzed, bro. You're talking like Aristotle because you got shit-talked in a video game. But tell me, am I wrong? Tell me, am I wrong? Yes, LMAO. So there's nothing in your life that you're insecure about. No, nothing at all. Now you're projecting the fact that you want me to think you're happy. Dude, I love this shit. This shit is fucking comedy gold. You want me to think you're happy because deep down you think that if you can convince me that you're happy, then you can convince yourself as well. Dude, this is the way you flame people, right? It's not by like saying, oh, fuck you or your shit or that. Like, it's like, make them think about why they're doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's like you make them think about why they're doing what they're doing, and then when they realize that, holy shit, it's like, what the fuck? He legit stopped typing? I know he did. Am I wrong? Look, like I said, am I wrong? He just stopped typing. Like I'm telling you guys. I'm literally like the king of like understanding exactly why people are doing what they're doing. Bro, this is the weirdest way to flame. I'm legit scared. What the fuck? Dantes, you scare me. Let me explain something to you. The reason why that's such a crazy way to flame is because you make people think about their actions. If you're there and there's an action that occurs, you're gonna say there's a reason behind why it occurred, right? So let me give you an example, right? Let's say you see that there's rain falling down from the sky. You're gonna look for the reason why there's rain, right? So you're gonna try to like understand this, right? Let's say there's thunder. You're gonna try to understand the reasoning for thunder. Let's say you go outside, right? And your clothes are dirty, right? You're gonna try to find out the reason why your clothes are dirty, right? Maybe like a mouse stepped on it, or like fucking it got like thrown down by the wind in the grass, right? But it's like what's gonna happen is you're gonna go outside, right? Or you're gonna be inside, and you're gonna notice that there is a noticeable thing that you can see with your eyes, and there was a cause for that thing being the way it is. So let me explain something to you. I'll explain this to you in like an analogy in a way, okay? Watch. So you guys see me right now, right? Look at my water jug. Look how much it's filled, right? Here. I'll do a little experiment with you guys. Watch this. Look at how much the water jug is filled, right? Look. And now look. It's like you can see noticeably that the water, right? The water went down in the jug, right? And the reason why the water went down in the jug was because I drank from it. Okay? So because I drank from the water in the jug, the water went down, right? We can all agree on this, right? We can all agree on this. And it's the same exact things with actions in life. Whenever somebody is going to say or do something, it is because there is something inside of them that causes them to act the way they do. Because there is always an underlying reason as to why people are going to do what they do, right? So someone's going to sit there and they're going to say something like, oh man, you're this, you're that, and they're going to flame you. Well, there's a reason why they're flaming you. Maybe they had a bad day. Maybe they don't like you. Maybe they want to project their insecurities onto you. Maybe they just don't want to take blame for like a bad play, right? But it's like there's always going to be things that people are going to say or do, and the reason they're saying or doing these things is because of ways that they're feeling inside, right? And the way that you truly flame these people, okay, it's not by calling them dog shit, right? Let's say I'm playing a game, right? And the guy's like trash talking me. The way I flame him is not by calling him dog shit. It is not to sit there and like insult him, you know? The way you actually get to these people is you make them realize that they're only doing what they're doing because of the way they feel deep down inside. Because a lot of them aren't even aware. And if you can sit there and if you can really strike that nerve of this is why you're doing what you're doing, they will resent you for the rest of their lives. I'm being serious. But it's like, I'm telling you, these people, they're gonna hate you, right? Because they're used to sitting there and like they'll trash talk in a video game, right? And it's like that Rakan, for example, he said, bro, it's just trash talk. If you can't handle it, go offline. Okay, but why do you feel the need to trash talk in a video game? Oh, bro, because it's like the normal thing to do, whatever. Okay, so why do you feel the need to do the normal thing, right? Is it because you fear that you won't be accepted by your community or by your friends if you don't act in a conformist way, right? Oh, no, man, like, it's nothing like that. Okay, so you want to be toxic then. Why do you want to be toxic? What is it inside of you that makes you want to be toxic? What is it deep down in your in the pit of your stomach that makes you want to sit there and flame? What is it? You know? And then when you sit there and you really unlock that, boom! Just like that, they're mentally fucked. They will hate you because they'll realize that you know them better than they know themselves. I'm being serious. You could put me in one league game with a guy, and I promise you that if I were to talk to him for 1 hour, I would know more about that guy than he knows about himself, just by psychoanalyzing him. Like, I'm not even trolling. I'm being serious. Dantes got a degree in psychology? No, I'll explain it to you guys. So, what if I told you guys that empathy is the easiest thing on the planet? Empathy and understanding other people is the easiest thing on the planet, unironically. But to understand other people, you have to understand yourself. Because if you don't understand yourself, how could you ever understand another person, right? And the thing about me is, one day I remember sitting there in my bed. I remember lying down in my bed. And I remember asking myself the question, who am I? At one point I was on Tinder or something, right? And someone had asked me, like a girl had asked me, like, who are you, Dantes? This is when I was like, maybe like 17, 18, whatever, right? And they were like, who are you, Dantes? And it's like, I didn't know the answer. You know what I mean? So then I literally spent months sitting there and asking myself that question every day. It's like, I would sit there and I would look at an apple, for example. And I would say, I don't like this apple. I don't like this apple. And then I would sit there and like, be like, okay, what are the components of an apple? Its shape, its color, and its size, right? So then I would sit there and I would like think of every single interaction I've ever had in my life with things that are either the color red, the size of an apple, or the shape of an apple, right? And then I would try to like understand how many negative interactions have shaped my perception and my view into that of having like a negative perception towards apples, right? And I would sit there and I would just wonder about things like this for hours every single day, literally. Like, oh, for example, I don't like this color of car. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like that. I like that. I like this. And I would just ask myself, why? Like, literally just why? Like, I would literally just sit there for hours every single day asking myself why, you know? It's like, I like apples. Why? Because I like the color red. Why? Because when I was younger, I don't know. When I was younger, my parents bought me a red fire truck and I liked it a lot. Why? Because I liked playing. Why? Because I enjoyed having fun with others. Why? Because I enjoy spending time with others. Why? Because maybe I'm lonely, right? And I enjoy the fact that spending time with others, right? It makes me less lonely. Why? And then it's like I'm there and I'm just asking myself, boom, boom, boom. And it's like, for all I know, the reason why I like apples could be because as a child, I felt like maybe I didn't have enough time with friends. You know what I'm talking about? And maybe that's the reason why I like apples, right? And it's like I would sit there for hours every day, just like psychoanalyzing every single preference I've ever had in my life, and like every single thing I've ever like thought, literally for hours every day, until I got to a point where I understood myself almost perfectly. And even nowadays, I could think, like, I could be in a situation and act a certain way, right? And then thinking back on that situation later, I can literally figure out why I acted that way just by like the underlying psychology behind my actions. You know what I'm talking about? So you tried picking yourself apart piece by piece, literally, like, no, Spudo, I love that you typed this, no, No. Who are you? You are the Giga Chad Top G Challenger, #1 jungler at NA, best Hecarim. No, no, no. This is what I am, right? Challenger, that's what I am, right? If you think this is what I am, it's what I am. Best Hecarim, that's what I am, right? Huge muscles, what I am, right? Like all of these things, it's what I am, not who I am. Does that make sense? What you just listed is what I am, not who I am, right? So that's why for the longest time I was so confused, because I would sit there and I would say, who am I? And I would just name what I am. Who am I? A guy who likes going to the gym, but that's a what? Who am I? A guy who like plays League for 12 hours a day, but that's a what? You know what I mean? And it's like, why? Like, why do I do these things? What makes me act in these ways? You see what I'm talking about? It's like, who am I? Not what am I? Who am I? You know what I'm talking about? Who am I? And the scariest thing was that when I first asked myself that question, I didn't know. A girl literally asked me on Tinder, she said, who are you? And I left her on fucking red, and I never responded to her ever again. Because the thing is, I didn't know who I was, so I had to take time to reflect. You know what I'm talking about? I never talked to her again, because I spent all that time self-reflecting on her question, and thinking, who am I really? You know what I'm talking about? So who are you then? Anybody who can answer that question hasn't thought enough about it. Because what if I told you, it's like I've spent hours, but it's like asking someone, who are you? Like I've said this before, right? And I'll say it again, right? When it comes down to who am I, the only response I've ever had for who am I that made sense and was like comfortable to me was someone who just wants to be enough, right? Like, because that's what everything always came down to at the end of the day, right? Like my hobbies, my passions, my this, my that, right? It just always had to come down to that, right? But you ask that to most people and they'll say something like, oh, I'm adventurous, I'm this, I'm that. But it's like, no. You aren't how you act. You are the reason why you act how you act. Remember what I just said. Who are you? Oh, I'm someone who's adventurous. No, that's what you are. Someone who's adventurous, that's a what? Why are you adventurous, you know? Someone who likes exploring new places. Why? Why do you do that? What is it about you as a person that makes you that way? You see what I'm talking about? So you can never sit there and you can never have like, you can never just like name qualities, because naming qualities, like anybody can do that. Oh, I'm generous. Why are you generous? I don't know. Then think! Get off Tinder and think! For once in your fucking life! You know what I mean? Legit. God damn it, dude. Like, sometimes, I'm telling you, it's like, you need to think about these things, you know? Like, I'm being serious. Like, I'm not trolling. Holy shit, I dodged the Lucian Q. But it wasn't enough because this Twitch might have cancer in-game. Alright, that's fine. But that's what it comes down to, chat. It's like, at the end of the day, nobody knows themselves, literally. And that's what you come to realize. Nobody knows why they do what they do. Nobody knows what led them to being in the position they're in right now in terms of their character. Nobody knows any of these things because they don't think about it. Because they're so absorbed by entertainment that they never self-reflect, you know. Dantes, tell me, what's your purpose in this life? I don't know. My purpose is to improve. That's like the purpose that I have right now. Not just in like a physical state or like a material state, but also in like a mental state, right? Could also be a spiritual state one day. What does improvement even mean? So, when I was younger, I always used to be obsessed with like video games, right? Specifically upgrading games, okay? If you guys have ever played a game where it's like you can upgrade your strength, your speed, stuff like that, type 1, right? Like you can upgrade your weapon, you can upgrade this, you can upgrade that, type 1, right? So, the way that I always viewed life was that I was merely a video game character. That's what I was. I was a video game character whose purpose was to improve my strength, my intelligence, my, I guess you can say emotional state, right? Fucking like mental state, your way of thinking of things, right? Like all of these things, it's just like you're a human being that starts off level 1 and it's like I want to make myself level 100, you know? You have no purpose. Your life is meaningless. You just happen to exist by a happy coincidence. That's your... No, dude, I'm telling you, because... The problem is if you sit there, right? Oh, I should have went and W'd actually. But no, the problem is if you sit there and you start thinking to yourself like, oh, dude, like, I'm just here to exist, right? Then the problem is that the second you stop existing and you start actually having to think, you're going to become depressed. That's the reason why so many streamers end up, like, turning to drugs or, like, going on burnouts and depressions and shit, right? Because if you sit there and you don't even know who you are, right? But you never have to worry about, like, money or shit like that. Then at the end of the day, every night, the only person you're there with is yourself, right? And since they don't know who they are and they don't know, like, why they're doing what they're doing, they don't know what their purpose is, then they get depressed. The only reason we even have time to think, the only reason humans are even depressed nowadays, unironically, is because of like, how easy things are, if that makes sense. And it's, like, crazy for me to say that, but it's actually the truth. Things are so easy that we have so much time to think and not enough time to do that we're always living in either the past or, like, the future. We're never living in the present. And since we're never in the present, we're never happy, right? It's like, even when you're in the present, most of the time, nobody's in the present, bro. You go to a concert, everyone's there with their phones up recording because they're living in the fucking future. They're not living in the moment, right? So they sit there and they have to sit there on their fucking phones and record everything because they're like, oh no, I'm not in the current moment. I'm just in a moment that I'll look back on in years from now, right? Again, underlying psychology, right? So many teens are depressed nowadays, and then when you look, they're all recording with their phones at the concert. What does that tell you? It tells you that people are never in their fucking current moments, right? They're always just, like, somewhere else, someplace else, doing some fucking thing. I feel like social media plays a huge role as well, of course. Anything to do with the internet, 100%. Everything to do with the internet, 100%, yeah. The internet is what makes everything, like, information super easy to have at the tip of your fingertips. You can just, like, find something, and then you have all this time to just, like, think about it, right? But then, what's thinking about it going to do? It's going to make you depressed. Because you're going to start questioning things. You're going to start, like, oh, I need to know the answers, right? I need to know the answers, and then, boom. Okay. Could I have done something better there? I mean, I don't think so, honestly. But I got 1 for 1, which isn't bad at all. Just because most humans aren't able to handle it doesn't mean it's rid of the problem. Just evolve, use it, grow people, stop being whiny bitches with their first world problems.
Hey, by the way, I got you.
Yeah, but see, the problem with you, Dom, is that you have a really low IQ take. So, like, the issue is that everything exists on a plane in life, right? So, like, how do I explain this to you? It's kind of like, in life, there's heat and there's cold, right? There's happiness, there's sadness, right? There's anger and there's, I guess, like, being calm, right? And the issue is that problems exist on the same plane or the same scale, right? The only difference is that if you have, like, a problem, it's either going to be a physical problem or, like, a mental problem, right? But, like, everybody in life is going to have problems. And the only thing that, like, I guess changes is how they, like, manifest, right? So that's why to sit there and be like, oh my god, dude, you have first world problems. It's like, it isn't first world problems. It's that it's mental problems, right? And usually in, like, third world country, they're more like physical problems, right? That's just the thing about it. It's like, just because it isn't a certain kind of problem doesn't mean that it isn't as relevant, you know? Whether a person is freezing to death or burning to death, you're not going to sit there and be like, dude, are you serious, man? That guy's burning and you're freezing and you want to complain? Like, what, bro? I mean, sure, that guy's burning, I'm freezing, but I'm freezing and he's burning, right? So it's like, we both have, like, equal and opposite issues, right? That obviously aren't the same, but are just as, like, detrimental, you know? I thought I would win that versus Timo because he has no damage, but I forgot it was Timo. So he actually won it. So if I tell you guys, it might just be winner's queue. But we have to kill the Titanic Hydra Rush Timo. And it's the only way. Oh. I'll take it. I'll take it. Wait, what if I just queue over this wall and kill them all? It's like I thought I'd kill them all, but then I got blinded and then I got fucked. But I probably should just like queued onto him again and then tried for like my E afterwards. I told my mom that school stress is the key to all my problems, and she answered, people in World War II stress out because they knew in every second they would die, and you're stressing about school. You know what the trick is? If they see shit like that, just tell them like, it's like, are you ever stressed of losing your job? Well, of course, because if I don't have a job, then I won't have money. Well, some people are stressed that they won't be able to keep their limbs because they have to get them amputated. You know, it's like, yeah, but it's relative. That's the problem with people. They don't understand relativity. It's like people are going to hold people to levels of... Oh, fuck me. Fuck. It's like the problem with people nowadays is they're gonna hold people to like problems that they wouldn't hold themselves to if they were confronted with the same like thing. If that makes sense. Because someone is in a worse situation doesn't invalidate your problems. No, because the thing is there's always a person in a worse situation. So then it's like, who becomes the fucking, the judge of like when a problem is worth being a problem, you know? Well, if you're not in any physical danger, then it's not a problem. Okay, well, what if there's a guy who's like a quadriplegic and he can't move, but he's on any physical danger? Is that a problem? Can he complain about his life? Yeah, why? You know, and then, oh, because of this. Okay, so that means that this is acceptable too then. And then eventually get to a point where they'll realize that they're just like retarded. And they're like, oh, okay, well, guess you're right. We're just animals experiencing... You know what the problem with people is nowadays? I'll tell you. The problem with people nowadays is that they think we're more complex than animals. That's like the funniest thing. People are like, oh, we're more complex than animals. But guys, what if I told you we're not? Like we're literally not. And once you understand that we're the exact same as all other animals are, it makes understanding like a lot easier, right? But dantes, for example... If I'm a human being, right, and I get in a relationship, and then I have trust issues, lions probably wouldn't have trust issues, so that's different. Okay, well, maybe not trust issues per se, right? But there's a thing where it's like, as any kind of species on the planet, right? If you go through one bad experience, you're not going to want to go through a bad experience again, right? So then you realize that, like, any kind of, like, whatever you would think emotional maturity that humans possess, it's just, like, survival instincts. But dantes, I go to work, and I work on a computer, and dolphins don't work on computers. Yeah, and why do you work on a computer? So I can eat. Okay, and why do you want to eat, right? Well, I want to eat because I want to survive, alright? So how is that any different from, like, let's say a shark just hunting in the ocean to survive? Why is you working at a computer any different from, like, a shark hunting in the ocean? I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Humans have culture, and what animals don't. Animals will sit there, they'll have mating rituals, they'll have mating calls, they'll do like these like shows and all this stuff for like stuff like that, right? Humans is all the same shit. And one of the things that actually like made me think this way, by the way, is because when I was 16 years old, I thought we were gonna die. I thought we were all gonna die and a solar flare was gonna hit Earth. Because my friend would always like browse 4chan. And one day they were talking about how all these like solar observation facilities were like shutting down, right? And they were saying, oh, it's because a solar flare is going to hit, right? And for anyone who doesn't know what solar flares are, it's pretty much like, imagine an EMP, right? So anything electrical just ceases to exist. Anything electrical just like stops working. Refrigeration stops working. Cars stop working. Like computers stop working. Internet stops working. Telecommunications stop working, right? And I remember sitting there and thinking, I was like, if we were to revert to the Stone Ages, right? Would I really be any better than like a caveman? Or is it just the fact that I have people nowadays who are going to do things for me, you know? It's like a guy's going to sit there and he'll be like, I'm better than a caveman. But like the only things that make him, I guess, better than a caveman are things that like people are going to do for him, right? Because they went to school for these like things. I thought I could have actually won that. I didn't realize that. Yeah, Team actually fucks me up really hard. I want to think like you, but I haven't unlocked it yet. I mean, listen, the thing about me is just that it's like I've made a conscious effort to think the way I do for like years upon years, right? It's like, I'd want to go for a kill here. But at the same time, like, would I ever even be able to? I mean, I even just use this one. Would I recommend using Tinder? The only time Tinder's ever worth it is if you're either a girl or like an extremely attractive guy. If not, you're just gonna download Tinder and hate your life. You know, even me, like, I downloaded Tinder, right? And I'll get maybe like 1 like every few days, like unironically. It's like, it's not worth it unless you literally look like Giga Chad. How do I know I'm attractive? I don't think I am. But if I had to give like an actual rating, right? Usually I would say like 6.5. 6.5, and I mean the reason I get 6.5 is just like visually, right? When I look at videos of myself and stuff, I'll be like, okay. And then also because I can judge by like the way people react to me, right? Like you go out in public, right? You'll smile at someone, and then just based off the reaction they're gonna have, you're gonna have a better like idea. So I'd say like 6.5.